3, 2, 1, 0.
What is up, everybody out there in whatever nation? Welcome to episode 11 of the Whatever I Find Entertaining podcast. I am so happy to have y'all here with me today. As usual, I'm super excited to get into today's show. But first, like usual, a wellness check. How y'all doing out there? Normally I talk to one person a day, but today I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to the whole whatever nation. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everything's going awesome. I just want to thank y'all for being here. I'm looking over at my TV right now and I'm realizing that one of my Batman figures are knocked over, and I don't know how that happened, and that is totally fine. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry about it, because that's not hurting my day, because I'm here with you. I'm here with whatever nation, and that's the best time of the week. Every week, every Saturday at this time, we come together and we just enjoy each other's company, discussing these random topics. And speaking of topics, that's a transition. I'm getting so professional with this shit, bro. I swear to God I am. We got a topic-filled show today. We got a lot to discuss. I can't wait. We're going to talk about some new trailers that just dropped recently. Earlier this week, we're going to talk about a couple of TV shows that I'm either just finishing or getting into. I got two particularly that I want to talk about. And then we're going to talk about a couple of video games that released some information in the state of play, the Sony state of play. So we're gonna get right into it. We're not going to delay. I'm happy y'all with me. So let's get into it. Episode 11. Let's get started. Welcome back to the show. Let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about today is kind of a plot twist, kind of out of nowhere. Didn't hint at this earlier, but I got a notification on my phone earlier today while I was preparing to do the show from Late As Usual Amazon Music. They sent me a notification saying, hey, DMX's album dropped. It's called Exodus. And I said, wow. If only I could have heard about that earlier, I could have gave it a listen, and then I wouldn't have been able to talk about it on the show today. But I didn't have the time because, like I said, Late As Usual Amazon Music ain't giving me the shit when I need it. This is how I know they were late, because as soon as they sent me the notification, clicked on it, went to it, sent it to my homeboy, and he said, yeah, I was listening to it earlier on my way to work. I'm like, thanks, Amazon Music. By the way, that's like 3 or 4 Amazon Musics, by the way. So if y'all want to do a promo deal with me, I'm in. I use your product like all the time. So hit me up, deethezo@yahoo.com. Let's make some money. Anyway, back to the show. It's his last album. It was, I guess he was working on it before his untimely death. And if you watched a previous episode, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I talked about, what his death meant to me and how it felt and just how much it just really sucked. I want to say it was like episode 6 or so, but to be honest with you, I do not remember. And I'm not gonna recap that anyway, because we're not about to go down that path again. The point is that I was a huge DMX fan growing up. He was probably one of my first ever favorite rappers. It really sucks that he's passed away, but I am happy that I at least get one more project from him before he's gone. And it's not like a greatest hits or anything. These are all like newly released tracks. This is nothing like. It's nothing like, oh, here go a combination of some of his best songs, or here goes some old ass unreleased verses. From what I understand, this is just what he was working on at the time. And I can't wait to give it a listen. I wish I could have. I wanted to just give it a quick listen to it one time and then maybe give y'all my first impressions of it. But I'm like, I didn't really want to do that. I didn't feel like that was doing it justice. So next week, I'll be then listen to it heavily and absorbed it, and I can give y'all all my my opinions and points and all the other nagging stuff I do. So that'll be a next week thing. So you can look forward to that. DMX's Exodus. Go listen to it. And if you got any questions throughout the week, hit me up. Make sure you hit me up before next Friday, because by that time next Friday come, I'll have my show ready to go. But like usual, you email me at deethezo, thegreat at Yahoo or Gmail. You can hit me comments on the video on YouTube. That's youtube.com/deethezo, DEETHEZO. Hit me up on social medias. That's Twitter. That's Instagram at deethezo the Great. Very, very, very simple, very streamlined service whenever you feel like it. Also, I'll go over just really briefly, but there's also a link in the description of the episode and a link in the description of the video on YouTube of a support page if you want to donate some money to the podcast. Completely optional. I've run over it like the past 3 or 4 episodes. It's not a big deal. If you want to donate some money, you can. If you don't, that's cool stew. That's cool stew. That's cool. That's cool stew. That's cool stew. Like eating beef stew. That's cold. That's cool too. I won't feel. I'll still love you. It's all love. It's as a wise man once said, everything good. Moving on to the next topic. A few trailers released that I wanted to get on earlier this week, and one of them was the Rick and Morty season 5 trailer. Now I have no idea how many times I've talked about Rick and Morty, or at least how many times I've talked about season 5 since I started this podcast, but that should just let you know how much I absolutely love this goddamn show. And I've been waiting on season 5 for what seems like 47 years. I want to say it was getting close to 48 years that I've been waiting on season 5. But I'm super excited. I watched the trailer like 3 or 4 times. There's no point in me explaining to you what happened in the trailer. I just advise you go watch it if you are a Rick and Morty fan. If you're not, please get into Rick and Morty. But there's 4 seasons of amazing stuff to watch. Watch that before season 5. I know I'm going to rewatch 1 through 4 before 5 comes out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like a week-to-week breakdown of the episodes or what. Not sure. I don't know yet. Because it's just so much going on in that show. It just feels so pointless to try to break it down or explain what's happening to you. You just gotta be there, bro. There's no sense in telling somebody who don't know what's going on. You just gotta be there, bro. But anyway, the other trailer I wanted to talk about was, of course, I gotta get some MCU news in here, because I think last episode was the first episode I didn't have any MCU stuff. So I gotta get some MCU stuff in here and talk about the Eternals trailer. Now, I will tell you this. I have no idea who the Eternals are. I don't know much about them. I will by the time the movie comes out, because it's. Oh, I didn't say. Sorry, the Rick and Morty trailer. Season 5 is slated to release in June 20th. I'm sorry I didn't get that out the way. But anyway, back to the Eternals. The Eternals is scheduled to be released November 21st. So I got plenty of time to learn who the Eternals are and learn all about them and what they do and how they are and what they are. But without knowing anything, I will say this. I am super excited for this movie. I cannot wait. And the reason is because my favorite parts in it, because if you know me, you know I'm a huge Marvel fan. I love everything Marvel. I mean, not to say that I dislike DC or any other type of comic book universe, because I mean, I love all shit. But I just, if I, most people like to take sides between Marvel or DC, and I'm just more of a Marvel guy. Nothing negative to say about DC at all. But back to the point, I don't know anything about. There's always corners of anything that you just like. Look, I know a lot about Marvel, but I don't know nothing about this corner of Marvel. And Eternals is one of those. I mean, they appear to be gods, not like God of thunder, God of water, God of rain type shit, but they appear to be just like, compared to a human, like they all seem to be able to like teleport or have super speed and super strength and stamina and all that shit. Like I said, I don't know much about them. I can't wait, because my most exciting thing, the things I get most excited about in the MCU are the things I don't know about, because I get to learn more about other parts of the universe that I'm not familiar with. So Stuff like learning about the Guardians. Like I didn't know shit about the Guardians of the Galaxy before those movies. But learning about those whole universes and how they connect to Earth and all that kind of stuff, man. I just love learning about new shit. So giving me a whole movie about characters I never heard of, it's more than I could ever hope for. So the Eternal trailers looks great. It looks like there's a lot going on, and they got some heavy hitters in there. They got Angelina Jolie. I think I saw Selma Hayek. They got shit. I'm blanking on names right now. I want to say his name's Brian something with a T, like Brian Tyree or something like that. Henry or something like that. He was in Atlanta. He played Paperboy in Atlanta. He was in Godzilla vs. King Kong. He played like the conspiracy dude. He was in Chucky, the remake, like the updated version of Chucky. I don't know what he played in there because I never actually seen that movie. But he was in there too. He's done a lot of shit. Like Atlanta really put him on the map, bro. So who else they have in there? They had old dude. I cannot think of names right now of actors. I wasn't gonna go into detail of the characters, but as I was saying this shit, I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, they really do got some heavy hitters in there. They got old dude. He was in Game of Thrones, bro. Richard Madden is his name. He played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones. And I didn't even realize this, but they got two Games of Thrones people in here. They got the guy who played Robb Stark, and then they got the guy who played the legendary, the man, the Golden Goat, the greatest. They got the dude who played. I did all that lead up. I can't remember his damn name. Jon Snow. I was trying to think of the line that the girl used to say to him. You know nothing. I can't do the fucking accent. You know nothing. I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. But Jon Snow, Kit Harington is in here too. Like they got like Jesus. They got a lot of. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. They got two, and they're playing two main characters. Two Game of Thrones people in here. Brian Tyree Henry. That's the guy I was right about his name. It was Brandon T. Henry. This guy was saying about it first. Yeah, they got a nice look. I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking it up, so I don't want you to think, damn, he remembered all of this. I'm not gonna fake it to you. I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking at the cast. Yeah, they got a lot. They got a great cast in here, man. But it looks crazy, and I mean it in a good way because Lord knows I don't. It's just hard to explain. Like if you had to explain to somebody what was happening in the trailer, I don't know how you would do it. Thank God it ain't my job to do that. Go look at the trailer. It was dope. I was gonna highly recommend the movie. I guess recommend the trailer though. Trailer was dope. Fix my mic right quick. Yeah, it was pretty dope. Like I said, coming out November 21st. I can't wait, bro, cause I'm ready to. I just realized that it comes out a month before Spider-Man 3, or Spider-Man Spider-Man fucking No Way Home, because they don't want you calling it Spider-Man 3 because there's already been a Spider-Man 3, and that shit was absolute ass. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the Eternals. Looks great. I can't wait. I just can't wait to fucking get back watching MCU movies, bro. Can you believe? Man, it feels like it's been forever since Endgame. But yeah, that's it. Next, we're gonna take a short little break, and then next thing we're gonna talk about after the break will be a couple shows that I'm watching. So I'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. We talked about the trailers. Like I said before, now it's time to talk about a couple of TV shows that I'm either just finished. There's one I just finished, and then there's one I'm about halfway through, and I just want to talk about them. The first one is it's a Hulu exclusive. It's a Hulu exclusive, but I think it's like Hulu produced it as well. So like they made the show. I think. Like, you know, sometimes they'll say this is an exclusive because it only comes on here, but like this is we made it so it's only here type deal, which is I ain't no problem with it. But it's M.O.D.O.K, Marvel's M.O.D.O.K. It's animated. I almost said it's an animated cartoon. That's what almost came out of my mouth. It's an anime, like that makes any damn sense though. It's a cartoon. I don't like cartoon because cartoon make it sound like it's for kids. It's an animated show. That's what it is. It's an animated show about a Marvel character named M.O.D.O.K. We've already talked about this before, so I'm not getting the history of M.O.D.O.K. But the show's hilarious. I just finished it. It's like 10 episodes, I think, and I just finished watching the last 2 yesterday, and it's funny as hell. It's got that Robot Chicken feel to it. If you know what Robot Chicken is, you know exactly what I mean. If you don't know what Robot Chicken is, I'm not sure you should be in whatever nation. Robot Chicken is definitely a staple. Adult Swim content is definitely a staple, which we already covered. It's definitely a staple of the whatever nation. But it's definitely got that feel. It may be animated by the same team. I know for a fact that it's got Seth Green worked on it, and he's one of the creators of Robot Chicken. So that's probably why it has it's definitely like the same art style, same graphic style, but it has the same type of humor too, same camera work. It's dope. If it's and you don't even have to be a fan of M.O.D.O.K or a Marvel fan to like this. There's definitely hella Marvel cameos in it. Iron Man plays, like Iron Man pops up in like 3 or 4 episodes because M.O.D.O.K considers Iron Man his biggest rival. So, and Iron Man's in here. He shows up. He says Iron Man type stuff. The whole show is really funny. I don't have time to go through all the cameos because a lot of the characters I saw were probably like such low tier Marvel characters. You'd be like, is that a real character? It's kind of like watching that the Harley Quinn cartoon on HBO Max. I can't remember what it's called. Is it just called Harley Quinn? Maybe it is. But how they just had such low tier, like CD list characters where you're just like, is that a real character? And you gotta look them up, like Condiment Man and Kite Man. And it's like, are those real characters? And then you look at them and go, hey, they are. They really are real characters. And that's how it was in here. There was like so many characters that I'm just like, I don't even know if they're made up for this show or what, but they're great. They're funny as hell. It's pretty dope. The show's all about M.O.D.O.K trying to take over the world. He builds his company called AIM, which is kind of like... AIM's been introduced in the MCU. Iron Man 2, Tony Stark was beefing with the guy who controlled... I think that was AIM. But AIM's just like just think of S.H.I.E.L.D. but evil. But not like Hydra evil. Like, we're a corporation, but some of us are trying to take over the world. But we also like build computers and stuff. We're also a tech company. So it's funny as hell. I highly recommend it. It's only on Hulu, so you need a Hulu subscription, obviously. But yeah, I love it to death. Like I said, it's only 10 episodes. They're gonna I guarantee you they're gonna fly by. I'm just thinking about it. It's a whole family. He got a family. He has a wife and he has 2 kids, and they're hilarious. He got a son and a daughter. His son's just like this really eccentric, weird kid, and his daughter is like super brainiac smart like he is, and she's in one of his like hover chairs too, which she don't have to be though. Because I feel like M.O.D.O.K's in his chair because he lost the use of his limbs, his arms and shit. I mean his legs. But she's like an ice skater and stuff, so her legs work fine. And you see her walking around in some of the things, so she's just floating around in her chair because she feels like it. But or maybe it's just because she got a big ass head. But anyway, it's super dope. The voice acting is fantastic. Patton Oswalt, a comedian that I love, he does M.O.D.O.K, but also he's like one of the writers on the show, and he's writing what they call it, a companion book. That's not the word for it. I can't remember the word, but it's a actual comic book that's running now that goes along with what's happening. I don't say go along, but I guess inspired by the work of the show, or the show's inspired by it. But it's a comic book that he's writing now, so they're running at the same time. Even after it's kind of cool because after every episode they say, "Hey, if you enjoyed this, you should go read this book written by the creators of this show." So it's dope. I can't recommend it enough. I think it's great. like I said, 10 episodes. It's gonna fly by. It's nothing you gotta invest a huge amount of time into. But I definitely recommend sitting down and watching it just for the humor and the Marvel references. Arcade pops up in here, and I believe he's a Spider-Man villain. But he's whoever villain he is, bro. He's like B or C tier at best. And he gets like a lot. He gets like one episode where it's just him shining. It's so funny, man. But yeah, check that out, M.O.D.O.K. It's the whole season's up already, which I'm not a huge fan of them dropping a whole season right at the beginning of the show. But whatevs. I'm not a TV executive, so what do I know? But moving on, the next thing I want to talk about is Jupiter's Legacy. Switching from Hulu to Netflix. Now this is a Netflix exclusive. A Netflix exclusive. It's a Netflix exclusive. It's pretty dope. I don't know, not sure if it's based on a comic book thing, but it's another thing about the world of superheroes. And we're at a time right now where obviously comic books are like the biggest thing on your TV and in your movie theaters, obviously, but more of a subgenre of comic book stuff is starting to blow up, and it's like adult comic book stuff, and not in adult as in like sex or anything, but like it's more violent than what you're used to seeing, and they deal with more adult themes like sex, but also drugs and like forgiveness and ethics and stuff like that. And this is definitely following in that vein of like superheroes aren't these perfect, no flawed heroes you're used to seeing in regular comic books and in cartoons and shit like that. It's definitely following the vein of Invincible, The Boys, Watchmen, that kind of stuff. It's not as dark as Watchmen, but it's definitely following those veins. I guess it follows a family. I guess the family would be the main characters. I'm back. I guess you can say it kind of follows the Sampson family. I think that's their name, Sampson. Well, before I get into the synopsis, like I said, it's a Netflix hero show. It's about 8 episodes. I just finished watching episode 4 this morning. I didn't want to rush through the whole show and then talk about it. I wanted to, since I didn't want to rush through it, I wanted to get to a point that made sense to where I could talk about it. So I said I'll stop at the midway point, and then I'll discuss it, and then I'll get the rest of the episodes done, and then we'll discuss that on. I guess we could discuss that next week. I'll get the other 4 done, and we could do that next week. But it's a superhero show. It follows the Sampson family, where the head of it is the father. Obviously, his name is the Utopian, and he's kind of like, he's kind of like Superman. What's dude's name? Oh shit, I'm blank. I got too much information in my head right now. The guy, the Homelander. It's kind of like Homelander. That archetype of just justice in the American way with the American colors and all that shit. But he's not as fucked up as Homelander, at least not from what I've seen. He's definitely more Superman than Homelander. He has like a strict no killing clause, strict no killing, never kill ever, like not even on accident, my nigga, like no killing ever. Yeah, he has family. All his family is superheroes. He has a wife. Her name's Lady Liberty. Like, see what I mean about the American theme shit? Lady Liberty. Their son has powers and her daughter has powers. Their daughter is like, fuck being a superhero. That shit ass. So she like becomes a model and gets addicted to drugs. The son wants to take over his dad. He wants to be the Utopian. I can't remember the son's his superhero name though. I can't remember it. But I think a central theme of the show, which is kind of cool, is about legacy characters. And if you don't know legacy, I swear to God, it's called Jupiter's Legacy. and a huge theme is legacy characters. I wonder if that's what that meant. Because once again, I'm not done. I'm only halfway through the season. I wonder if they did that on purpose, because I just realized that. Jupiter's legacy characters. Anyway, if you don't know legacy characters, it's a theme used in comic books. I don't know if it's used outside of the world of comic books, but basically when a younger person takes up the mantle of an already existing character. Like if somebody besides Bruce Wayne became Batman, or somebody besides Clark Kent became Superman, or somebody besides Peter Parker became Spider-Man, or when X-23 took over being Wolverine after, I don't know what the fuck happened to Logan, but yeah, it's always an existing continuity. So like another character from another dimension can't become that. That doesn't count as a legacy character. Like when Bruce Wayne's dad becomes Batman instead of him. That's not a legacy character. It has to be in a world where this character exists. Somebody else comes up and takes a perfect example. Terry McGinnis becoming Batman in Batman Beyond. That's the perfect example of a legacy character. Because Bruce Wayne was just too damn old to be Batman anymore. Pulling out a strap and shit on a person. The hell wrong with you, Bruce? He was too fucking old. So Terry McGinnis takes over. That's a perfect example of a legacy character. But yeah, it's all about these younger characters deciding to become superheroes or deciding not to be. It's up to them. Which is I want to say it's a thing that I haven't seen discussed much in like live action superhero stuff. Like seeing younger people decide, I got powers, but do I really want to be a superhero? Maybe they kind of tackle it in the X-Men movies, maybe kind of, but I wouldn't say that for real. Nah, I wouldn't agree with that. But yeah, it's because in this world, at least from what I can tell, because like I said halfway through, it's one of those worlds where if your parents have powers, then you get powers. It's like a genetic thing. And unlike some worlds where characters get powers and some characters don't, it's not like a lot of comic book worlds, it's not a passed down thing. Like in the X-Men, you just because you got powers don't mean your kid will. And just because you don't have powers don't mean your kid can't get powers. Because in X-Men, it's all about genetic mutations. So for instance, Bobby Drake, Iceman, his parents, to my knowledge, are completely normal. So when it turns out he got ice powers, they're freaked the fuck out. But then also you got in the case where like Magneto, his two kids, well I think he has 3 kids, but I only know about 2. His known kids, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, they end up, as far as I know, their mother didn't have any power. She was just like she wasn't a mutant. I think she could do magic. She was like some kind of gypsy or something, but it wasn't like mutant powers. It was just like some people can learn magic, bro. But so yeah, like in his case, both of his kids, or at least his first 2 kids, both got mutant powers, and they're nothing like his. So it's just a genetic mutation thing in that world. In this world, I think it's more like like an X-Men is just random. Like you might get powers, you might not. You might get mutated, you might not. I'm trying to think of another world where it's like that. I think in Invincible, since that's a popular thing right now, in Invincible, it seems like it's random as well. I mean, I know Mark gets it because his father has it, but I mean that's because his father's not human though, so it's not a genetic mutation. Everybody that's a Viltrumite can do what Omni-Man can. Everybody on the planet, just some are weaker than others. But everybody can fly and super strong and super fast and all that shit. So it makes sense that Mark would have powers because he is part Viltrumite. So that's not like a passed down thing. It's like literally everybody here can do that, bro. This is normal. That'd be like saying your parents passed down your ability to walk. Like, nah, most people can walk unless they like have something physically wrong with their body. Most people can walk and breathe air and say sentences and blink, and you know what I'm saying? That's all normal shit. So the point I'm making here is that in this world, I don't think it's like that. I think it's, yeah, if your parents got powers, you're gonna have powers, bro. So I think it's all about deciding whether or not the kids want to be like their parents and take up their mantles. But it also, as I watch, it's also like like you ever seen those shows with like those rich famous asshole kids that are super spoiled because their parents are rich and famous, so like they don't know how to talk to people and are always rude and disrespectful, and they just lack any common decency that a human being should have. This is like that, except these kids also have special powers, so they feel even more invincible than a normal douchey rich spoiled kid would. So I think that's another nice element to it, because that's definitely not a thing that's been tackled before in like a superhero type situation, which not from what I've seen, not saying it hasn't been tackled, just not anything I've seen. So that's another really interesting thing about it, is like, what if those rich famous kids that were untouchable because their parents usually bail them out of any trouble they get into, what if they also had powers? It's like, that's so fucked up. But anyway, like I said, at the fourth episode mark, I've watched 4 episodes. I love it. I think it's pretty dope. It's just, being an adult, it's nice to see superhero stuff, one, be taken more seriously, and 2, tackle more serious stuff. Like I said, like her the daughter of the family, she doesn't want to be a superhero. She thinks being a superhero is lame. Plus, she thinks her dad was a terrible father to him growing up, which I understand, because he's all saving the world, so it happens. So she don't want to follow in their footsteps. But she also becomes a drug addict, so she's struggling with that as well. So it's tackling more adult themes, and as an adult that likes comic book stuff or superhero stuff, it's nice to see that. It's nice as everything can't be all like kid friendly. As much as I love the MCU, they don't really. I mean, they do kinda, and I think the shows have gotten more into it than the movies ever did. But they deal with more serious topics. But like they dealt with racism a little bit in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So serious stuff like that are real things in the real world. But yeah, like I said, it's on Netflix. Check it out. I think it's dope as hell. It's nice to see adult themes being taken seriously, and it's not just about, oh man, these superheroes have sex. It's not about. Actually, I don't think there's any sex scenes. At least the first 4 episodes, there's no sex scenes in here at all, which is good. I don't want to see superheroes fucking. That's not my thing. But I think that's it for the shows. The next thing we're gonna talk about is we got some video games I want to talk about. Some information. Well, I'll get into it when we get into the next segment. So we'll take a quick break. Then I'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? I would like to take this time out to tell you about a fantastic podcasting opportunity. It's Anchor, a free app that allows you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or your computer. And once you're done recording your masterpiece, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you free of charge on popular platforms such as Spotify and Apple. Plus, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor really does have everything you need all in one place to get you started with your podcasting career. So if you love podcasts and been listening to them forever and want to join in on the fun, or you just started listening to podcasts and thought to yourself, man, that sounds like something fun I can do in my spare time, why not go to the App Store right now? Right now, while you're listening to my sexy voice. You don't even have to cut me off or stop me. You can do this at the same time. You can go to the App Store, search Anchor, that's ANCHOR, or go to anchor.fm and get started. Once again, that's Anchor in your App Store, ANCHOR, or anchor.fm. Why not give it a try? It's free, it's fun, you don't have anything to lose.
And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show. The next topic we got was we're gonna talk about a couple video games. When I say a couple, I literally mean 2. I think this is the first episode. I'm always giving y'all first. I'm always trying to be original with my content, man. I'm always trying to switch it up and do different stuff for y'all. I think this will be the first episode we ever end talking about video games, because this is our last topic of the day. last segment of the day. Yeah, we're gonna end it talking about video games today. First one I want to talk about is Dying Light 2 Stay Human, which I didn't know that Stay Human was the subtitle. But I mean, it's cool with me. I get it. I'm believing it takes on a multiple meaning, as in like stay human, as in don't get turned into a zombie or don't get turned into an infected. But also stay human, as in don't lose your humanity like some of these other people around here who just raid and pillage and just be generally horrible existing things. But yeah, it's the Dying Light, their YouTube channel started this. I forgot what they called. They had a Dying to Know Part 1 is up on their channel now. YouTube.com/ Dying Light 2 or Dying Light. Either one of those. It'll get you there, believe me. They started. I just watched Part 1 earlier today because both of these things just got dropped on me. I don't remember when, but PlayStation does these things called State of Play. Well, Sony does these things called PlayStation, where they just showcase games. It's like a mini reveal event where they just show off they just show off games, and they'll have whoever the game designer or director is of the game to come in and explain some things and talk about some stuff. Then they'll show off gameplay, maybe explain the plot, whatever they feel like revealing. It's just a small tiny reveal event. And they do it, I want to say once a year, but I think they do it more than once a year. I think whenever they got a bunch of stuff they want to reveal at once, they do a state of play. Usually they have like a discount in the PlayStation store too, but we ain't getting on that. In this one, I think they talked about this. They talked about Dying Light 2. Well, I don't want to reveal what I'm going to talk about, but we're talking about Dying Light 2 right now. Yeah, they revealed the Part 1, and in they did a little segment called, well, I guess Dying Light did their own thing. This wasn't Sony doing it. I mean, it wasn't PlayStation doing this, but Dying Light did a little segment they called Dying to Know, where they're giving you information on the game. And then I watched Part 1 today. I have no idea when Part 2 is coming out. When it does, I'll let you know. Knowing my luck, it'll come out right when I finish recording this, because that's how lucky I am. And then I'll have to wait till all the way to next episode, next week, to talk about it. But so far, what I got from this game was it looks great. They've been talking about this shit for it feels like 2-3 years now. So I've seen gameplay. You've seen how they updated the parkour. Found out some stuff about the story though. Apparently, this is a little confusing to me. The people that were hosting the Dying to Know little show that revealed all this information, they said that this takes place 20 years after the first game. But when they started interviewing the people who work on the game, they said 15 years after the first game. So it's somewhere between 15 and 20 years after the first game. That's all I know. It takes place in a city, I think it's called Velador. Here's my thing. Obviously this isn't a English company, an American company. Nothing wrong with that. Some of the best games come from a different country, like The Witcher 3 come from a different country. So I'm not they have accents is what I'm getting at. That was a roundabout way to just say that I couldn't understand what they were saying. So I think they said Villador is the name of the main city where this takes place, and Villador is to be the last city that's safe from zombie and infected threats, because they're not zombies in this world. But technically that makes sense though, because I believe zombies is used as a term to explain literally if they come from the dead. Like if they were dead and then they wake up, they're zombies. Stuff like Last of Us, they're not zombies. Like they're not people that died and then came back. They're infected. So zombies refers to stuff like, George Romero stuff like Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Walking Dead's a good excuse. I guess Call of Duty zombies, they're actually legit zombies. So calling them zombies here is not fair. It's me making a bad joke. But they definitely are infected, meaning they were human. They never died. They just mutated into whatever these things are. So, yeah, Villador is to be the last city of humanity, the last safe place from the infected. They're adding different factions in it. There's like different people you can talk to and get cool with. Apparently, helping one faction may piss off another faction. So you go around making a lot of enemies and making a lot of friends. Your choices apparently are way more important now. But they broke it down to where choices can affect small stuff like if you're in a mission and you make a choice, well, now you got to go left instead of right, or now you got to go up instead of down, or stuff like that. Until small stuff like that, but then on a larger scale, your choices can affect huge stuff. Like it can unveil different parts of the city. Like they showed something where you did something with some electricity and the water level dropped. So now this whole part of town is explorable, and it wasn't explorable before. So choices are making a huge impact on it, which is cool. I always love choices in games. Mass Effect is one of my, I ain't gonna say it's one of my favorite franchises, but it's definitely, it ain't my top 5, but probably my top 10 of gaming franchises. And that shit was all about choice. They did choice better than any other game I ever seen. Like choices you made in the first one affected stuff in the third one, and if you let somebody die in the second game, then you had to deal with that shit in the third one. So stuff like that. So I love choices. What else did they talk about? Yeah, that's that about. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in there. Like I said, updated parkour and stuff, and new weapons, new skills. So obviously, it's got the sequel treatment. So better graphics. The city looks dope. The stuff that I seen looked dope. They got dope ass like drop kicks. Well, I think the last game had drop kicks. I don't think I used it, but once again, they look like they're taking that whole play your character like you want a thing, because I believe in the last one there was like 3 ways you can upgrade your character. It was like, do you want to be like super agile and acrobatic? Do you want to be like a brawler, or do you want to be a guy that uses like, I want to say gadgets. Gadgets don't seem like the right word. Like you want to be more weapon based. I was more of an agile dude, so you parkouring is more available to you, and you do quick shit. So yeah, they look like they definitely expanded on that, so that's exciting. But yeah, Dying Light 2, stay human. I can't wait for part 2 to come out, because obviously we're gonna have more news. But when I do get it, y'all will get it. But for right now, that's all I got to say on that topic. Oh, I'm sorry. It's supposed to come out. Funny thing about this, I almost talked about it. I didn't even know when I was putting together my notes, my script for the show. Because what I do is I take all my topics I want to talk about. I don't know if I discussed this before, but I take all my topics I want to talk about for the episode, and I kind of like pen them out in a script, so I know what I want to talk about in what order, and I know everything I want to say, or at least hit the main points of everything I want to say for each topic. So funny thing about that, and I'm just branching off and rambling like I normally do. When I was doing my show notes, my script, in my notes, because my notes is different from my script. My notes is just a rough draft of everything. My script is more of a final draft. I put Jupiter Ascending instead of Jupiter Legacy when I was talking about that. And Jupiter Ascending is a totally different thing. It's this movie made by the people who made The Matrix, the Wachowski brothers, and apparently it was shit. I don't know. I never watched it. Just because you did The Matrix don't mean I want to watch whatever else you do. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, when I was putting together my script for this, I didn't have Dying Light on here or the next game I'm finna talk about either. My brother, shout out to Ace, if you're listening, but shout out to you. My brother Ace hit me up. He said, "Hey, bro, did you see?" He told me about the next game I'm finna talk about, but I don't want to spoil it. Told me about the next game, and I was like, "No, I didn't see it." But then after I got off the phone with him, he sent me a video for a totally different game. He was like, "Oh man, they got gameplay for this too, bruh." And I said, "Bro, that shit not." And that was Dying Light 2. And I said, "Bro, that shit ain't coming out. So I mean, it ain't coming out no time soon. So get over it, bro. Don't trust them." He said, "No, they got a release date, bro. It's coming out this year." So I watched the video. The release date, apparently, I had to watch like a 35-minute video to get it. But apparently it's supposed to come out December 7th of this year. I don't trust it, but I'm an untrusting kind of guy. And also I'm like, if it comes out, great. I'm the kind of negative person that's like, please prove me wrong. I want to be wrong. So I'm never like, that shit's not coming out, man. Fuck them. I'm more like, I don't think it's coming out, but I would like for you to prove me wrong. So they say December 7th of this year. I hope so. But yeah, that was the last thing I had to talk about with that one. The next thing we're going to talk about is Horizon Zero Dawn 2 Forbidden West. Now, here's a game. Just like the first Dying Light, which I didn't really talk about, but I love the first Dying Light. Thought it was dope as hell. It was an amazing game. I've been waiting on the sequel for hellas, and I didn't play the DLC they dropped because that's crazy. That's what both of these games have in common. The first Dying Light and the first Horizon Zero Dawn. The thing they have both have in common is they were dope ass open world games where exploring was hella fun, and it was a type of gameplay I never experienced before. So they really pulled me in. But one mistake they both did is they took forever. They had an expansion. Both of them had expansions, and it just took forever to come out. So by the time, I don't remember how long Horizons took to come out, but I know for a fact Dying Light was like a year later after the game came out. They came out with an expansion. And that was a year after nothing. No added content at all. No DLCs, no nothing. No added guns or skins or anything. It was like, oh, now we got this expansion pack. And it was like, bro, I'm not playing that game no more. I can't do nothing with this expansion. If it was free, maybe I'd check it out. But like, I'm not even playing that game no more. I haven't played that game in like 6 months, bro. I'm not looking for an expansion. And Horizon was the same way. I don't remember how long that took out, but it took forever to come out with the expansion to the point where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not really playing that game no more. One thing Dying Light had going for it, and here I go rambling again, at least Dying Light had co-op. So even if you were done with it, you could still play. Even if you're done with the story, you collected everything, you could still play with your friends. And they had like these like co-op multiplayer like competitive things where y'all could start a race if y'all wanted to, or it was like, hey, whoever kills the most zombies gets a reward or something like that. So you can set up stuff like that. So I could see the longevity of that game extending. But with Horizon, it was like, now it's just a single player offline game, bro. There ain't nothing here to offer. So it just took too long for the DLC, the expansion to come out. So I never played it for either one of them. I never played it. Maybe I'll go back and play this one for the Horizon Zero Dawn before the game comes out. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, the game designers for, it's like I'm talking about both of these games, but I'm trying to focus on one. The game designer for Dying Light 2 says you don't need to play the first one to play this one. Because like I said, it takes like 15 to 20 years later. So the shit in the first one don't really matter. But in this one, I don't know. It doesn't say how long. I think it picks up pretty close to when the first one left off. But I also don't know if you need to play through the DLC for the first one, which was called Frozen Wilds. I think is what the DLC was called. I don't know if you need to play through that. I don't know if there was like important story stuff in there or not. I don't know anybody I know a lot of people that love this game, but I don't know anybody that played the DLC because, like I said, it took forever to come out. But anyway, that's enough of one. Let's talk about two. But once again, the State of Play came out, and Sony was. It's really State of Play is really a time for PlayStation to brag about their exclusives and give you more information on exclusives. That's what it really does, for real. If you really want to get into it. So they discussed it. They didn't give a release date, so I ain't gonna even leave you hanging on that one. They showed off basically two set pieces, and it looked, don't get me wrong, graphics look phenomenal. The voice acting for the characters we got, it seems like they brought back the same girl that played Alloy in the first one. They brought her back for this one, which is a dope decision. She was amazing in the first one. They brought her back. That's the only reoccurring character, so there's no reason to worry about who. Did they bring anybody else back? Like, what other character will they bring back? Anywho, it was a set piece where she was getting chased by some of these new looking dinosaurs that weren't from the first one. It kind of bothered me because, I mean, you kept hearing her talk to herself, which I don't know why that bothered me, but it kind of felt like to me as she's going through the set piece, she's like, oh man, I gotta get out of here. Oh, I gotta change my course. Oh my God, they're what did she say? Because she was running from them, and they were like little velociraptors. They were running from her, and she kept saying, oh man, they're not giving up. And every time she would go somewhere, they would cut her off, so she had to change her course. Which the scene was great. I could have dealt without the dialogue, to be honest with you, because to me it felt like, you know how they used to do those loot and shoot tactical games like Destiny and Division and Anthem, where they would show a squad playing the game and they would show them communicating to show you how important it is to communicate with your teammates. But the dialogue always felt forced, and it's like, bro, I've been playing online games since like 07. Squads don't communicate like that. They'll always be like, oh, we got bogeys coming up on our 6. Oh, I'm gonna flank the opponent and get this. It's like, man, friends don't talk to each other like that, bro. That's not how they talk. Like they don't, like they'll say something like, hey bro, they over there. Oh shit, I'm finna try to see if I can get behind them, man, and set up a turret. Something like that. Like, but they don't, like, y'all talking like y'all a professional unit in this fucking loot and shoot, like y'all going against another squad online, which y'all not doing right now. So it always felt fake and forced to me, and the dialogue in these set pieces kind of felt like that too. But I mean, the set pieces were dope. The chase scene. Another thing is, I can't tell if it was like a set piece or was it gameplay. I mean, I know I called it a set piece because that's what it looked like. It didn't. And what I mean by was it set piece or was it gameplay? Was it like you playing the game and making the decisions yourself? Or was it like, no, the game is just forcing you this way because they want you to do this, and then they want you to do these things in order? Because there was a point where she ran one way and then she got cut off, and then she ran another way, and then she ran into this building, and then she turned on her like Batman vision shit so she could see, oh, I can climb this thing. So then she climbed that thing, and then she got cut off, and she was like, oh no, they're not giving up. And then she jumped up. It just felt really scripted, and I'm like, okay, if I'm playing the game, then is it going to be like, am I going to do this exactly the way they did it, or were those decisions that person made on the fly? Because if it's scripted, it's less entertaining, and if it's just decisions they made on the fly, it's dope. So it's like, if I'm playing this game, does this scene play out differently? And what it also reminds me of is when they first were showing video of the PS4 Spider-Man. When that game first came out, and they were showing the chase scene, and when he was like chasing that big ass helicopter, and like there was a point where he like not flies, because Spider-Man can't fly obviously, but he like lands inside of a building, and then like he slides under something, and then he hops over something, and then he swings through the rest of the building. It's like, oh, that was dope as fuck. But it would be doper if that was a decision the gamer made and not just a thing that you can't avoid. Don't get me wrong, it was still dope as fuck. It turned out to be a thing that you can't avoid. Like, it happens regardless. But it was still dope. But it would be like, can some people play this game and that not happen? Because having something like that that's that awesome looking being an optional thing just makes it all the more cool. But besides that, let me get off of that negative thing, because I want to stress the fact that this shit looked amazing. There's a point where she dives in the water and it just looked beautiful, because there wasn't any, I mean, there was water in the first one. I don't think you actually went underwater though. don't think there was any deep water or nothing like that. Nah, I can't think of any time. Nah, I don't think so. But there's they added something called, obviously they added gear and different like stuff to get around maneuverability stuff. She got like a grappling hook where she pulls herself towards climbable things and she can jump off, and that looked dope. But anyway, like I was saying, she dived in the water, and at first I'm like, okay, because there was nothing on the screen. It was a minimal HUD. There was no health bar or nothing like that, which is cool with me, which is fine. But I was like, how do you know how much breath she has left? But it turns out she got like a breather mask on, which they explain later. She got like a breather mask on that lets her just be underwater as long as she fucking feels like it, which is perfectly fine with me. Because there's nothing more annoying than a game that forces you to be underwater and then forces the restriction on you of, yup, you better go back up to the surface to get some air. Just don't have me do the water part then, bro. Like, it's not fun anyway. So it's like playing a game that doesn't have unlimited sprint. It's like, it's not fun limiting the character like that, bro. I'm playing a game where I'm hunting robotic dinosaurs. I'm not looking for realism here, you know, like. So, like, seeing your character get tired is just it's lame. Now I can see if they were going for like a more realistic like survival thing, like Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, you had a stamina bar, and certain things made you more tired. And if you didn't eat, you got sick. Or if you ate spoiled food, you got sick. I get that. That's what that game was about. But when you just put that in a game that don't need it, is like when I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm like sprinting and then I stop and get tired and then I gotta walk before I can sprint again. That shit ass. But anyway, moving on. The graphics look dope as hell. They even had a little stealth gameplay in there, and you know me, I love my stealth. Even though the person playing blew the stealth mission right away, they stealthed one guy, which that's all I needed. Just let me know, oh, they're stealth in this game? Cool. That's all I need. Stealthing one guy, and then they got in a fight with a big dude, and it showed like the arrows weren't working, so she did some kind of like super attack where she charged up something, slammed into the ground, it let out a spark of energy, she stunned the guy, then she started whooping his ass, and then like she jumped on him and then jumped off of him and slowed down and hit his weak point with an arrow. And the shit looked dope as hell. It looked amazing. So I can't wait to try that shit out. Then after that, she went and fought there was another boss fight where she fought a big ass, like, I honestly don't know what it was. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. It was a big ass robotic dinosaur, bro. Like the fucking thunder jaws and shit. Is that what the big ass Tyrannosaurus Rex was in the first game? Was it called the Thunder Jaw? It was like that, except it wasn't a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was some other kind of dinosaur. But it was big as fuck, and it was dangerous as hell, and it looked like it was just as tough to take down as that damn Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, eventually she takes it down, and it was a good ass boss fight. It was very entertaining. It very much showed you what was great about the first game, but they added in the level transversal stuff, so she was climbing up on stuff and then jumping off of it to get a better advantage at them. So that was dope too. There was this point where I forgot to add, she had like she can glide down safely now. I don't think there was a glide thing in the first one. I don't remember. But yeah, she can glide. She got like a little parasol thing that looks like an energy shield. Where it kind of looks like when you're floating down at the beginning of Fortnite, when you call out your parachute. It looks like that. But there was this point where she climbed up on like this tall little tower, and then she jumped off and she was gliding down, and the camera whipped around, and the thing was right behind her, and it destroyed the thing she just jumped off of. So it looked really dope. I don't got much to say about after the gameplay. A guy came on who works on the game, and he was explaining some of the stuff they had. But to be honest with you, he was explaining stuff that was in the first game. So he was like, "You got a slingshot," and I'm like, "You had a slingshot in the first game." He was like, "You can hack dinosaurs and ride them." I was like, "You could do that in the first game." So some of the stuff he was saying, bro, was low key like. I played the first game. I platinumed the first game. So I did everything there was to do in the first game. So you can't tell me none of this shit new. Like, I even got that suit of armor that you gotta work your ass off to get that. Once you get it, pretty much makes the rest of the game pointless. Thank God that suit, I forgot what it's called, but thank God that suit was like in game. Because if you got that somewhere like halfway through the game, it would make the entire game just pointless, bro. It will be so fucking useless. But yeah, I think that was it. All in all, it looks dope as hell. Of course, I can't wait to play it. They didn't give a release date. I know Dying Light 2 is gonna be on PS4 because, like I've said before, I don't have my PS5 yet. I'll get it sometime next year. I was honestly just waiting on God of War 5. To be honest with you. Plus, I ain't gonna say that's a lie. I ain't gonna say I was waiting on God of War 5. PS5s are scarce right now, and it's hard to get one. So I'm waiting on that, and I'm waiting on God of War 5. That's why I haven't been rushing to try to find one whenever I could, because I'm like, I'm waiting on God of War 5. So, but yeah, all of these games, to be honest with you, everything I've talked about so far, as far as video games for next gen or current gen, however the fuck you look at it. But yeah, I can wait. God of War 5, I can't wait on. There ain't no way, because like I want to play Resident Evil 8 right now, but I'm sorry, Resident Evil Village. But I could wait. I can wait on that game. I can wait on everything but God of War 5. God of War 5, I gotta play when it drops. So whenever Santa Monica Studios, I'm talking, we're gonna take a break from the show. I'm talking directly to you right now. I'm talking directly to you right now, Santa Monica Studios. Whenever y'all are gonna release God of War 5, take your time. It don't need to be this year. It definitely make it next year. Make it next year for sure. Make it like summer of next year. That's perfect. But whenever y'all gonna release it, just give me a heads up. Just a little heads up so I can make sure I secure my PS5 or steal one from somebody else. Whatever it is, bro. Just fuck with your boy is all I'm saying. Anywho, back to the show, y'all. Sorry I had to talk to, every once in a while you just got to have a one-on-one with somebody, set them straight, put them in their place. And I had to do that right there. But, yeah, like I said, this game looks dope. I'm definitely going to get it. But it's no rush for me. So if it's next year, then that's great. Dying Light being December is fine with me. I'm not in any rush. I got plenty of games I'm still playing on my PS4. Actually, whenever that new Ninja Gaiden, and I'm done with the show. So in case you were wondering, I'm just finna ramble on for like a couple minutes. But the show's over, and I just wanted to talk about I want to get Ninja Gaiden. Is what I was talking about. But they're doing like an anniversary collection or something where Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3 are getting released together. And I'm definitely getting those because I never got to finish the first one because of some other shit that I'm not finna get into right now. But yeah, that's the end of the show. The point I was making was that I still got shit to play on my PS4. That's why I'm not in a rush to get a PS5. But yeah, I that's the end of the show. I'm sorry I rambled on so much, but like usual, that's what I do. I think y'all have come to expect me rambling on from now on. But yeah, I'm glad y'all hung out with me. I'm glad we spent this time together. I love y'all. I can't wait till next week so we can do this again. Always remember, if you want to get in contact with me, these are the great at Yahoo or Gmail. If you want to send me some, yeah, both. Either one. I had to lock my shit down, bro. I can't have nobody stealing my shit. But either one, you can email me about some topics you want me to talk about in the next episode. Or if you ain't emailing because that's a thing of the past, it's These Are The Great on birth. These Are The Great on both Instagram and Twitter. Probably on Snapchat too, to be honest with you, because I am on there. But yeah, if you don't want to reach me there, like I say usual, the day after the podcast goes up, it's gonna be on YouTube. So These Are The Great at, that's not true, youtube.com/deethezo on YouTube. And you can comment on one of these videos. Hey, I think you should talk about this. I'm always open to talk about whatever. So now whatever. That's not true. Not always whatever. But for the most part, when it comes to entertainment, I want to talk about whatever. I wish I could have talked about DMX today, but honestly, we had a full show without it. So I'm not too hurt over it. I can't wait to get that list, and I'm going to be bumping that all week like I was with the J. Cole, which I'm still bumping because it's still hard. But yeah, that's the end of the show, man. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Be safe. Be good to each other. I'm out, y'all. Peace.